What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily your weekend astrology forecast for the weekend of September 24th and the 25th of 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Truly appreciate you all very much. I hope everybody's doing outstanding. Welcome to the weekend. Hope you had a good week. And welcome to a new moon in Libra on Sunday. Definitely some big astrology. It's a pretty important new moon. Let's try and break it down. I think that, it's just Libra can be very extreme, very polarizing. There's a lot of duality. Definitely gets Libra, everything's beautiful in relationships. But there's a lot that go into relationships, and there's a lot that go into understanding others, dealing with other energies in our life, and how we're at this very interesting juxtaposition between ourselves and other people, and that reflects out into society as well. So it's important. All right. Saturday comes first, though, and we are going to be finishing up with this dark moon phase, this balsamic moon. It's going to meet with Venus, and we're also seeing Venus and Mercury get closer together and making that trine over to Pluto, where the moon will also do that. But the moon's also going to trine over to Uranus and the North Node. So Saturday is a very interesting day in itself, because it's definitely trying to go deeper and make changes in our reality and what makes us feel comfortable and secure in an ever-changing sort of environment. And then dealing with the relationships of Libra season and the sun here, and how we can find that reflection of these changes and the people in our lives. And things are definitely becoming, I would say, pretty black and white, which is good because we can see the deeper meaning behind things. But it doesn't come, super easy, because that moon's going to square over to Mars, which is definitely a lot of intense feelings, a lot of desires that can be acted upon, a lot of, emotions can come bubbling to the surface, like definitely some intense conversations can happen. I mean, this is kind of like, emotional vomiting of sorts, but it's because of these deeper truths. It's because of seeing this like more analytical, put together version of the life that we want, that it just, conversations need to be had. Emotions need to be dealt with. They need to be expressed. This is a very expressive weekend, if you will. And it's not a time to like hold back from your truth by any means. It's just like, you have to kind of go into your uniqueness, your individual place, and like really do things your way. It's your reality. And I think that that's the part of this weekend that's like sticking out the most, is you have to remember to make your reality pure. You have to remember to make your reality unique. You have to do things your way. Following what other people want or a truth that isn't yours isn't going to do it. But we also want to be open to the conversations and the dialogue that can be had. I don't think just the know-it-all sense of life is going to do it. So it's like having to weigh things out and see what's truly resonating with your soul, what's truly resonating in your reality, in your day-to-day life. Like, that's this weekend. That's especially Saturday. And that's where I think a lot of the creative insights, a lot of the really beautiful things can come up, as we are seeing Venus still in that opposition to Neptune, and the moon is going to oppose that Neptune as well. So it's kind of it's a jambalaya of emotion, if you will, but like, that's the beautiful part about that. Like, sure, it can be spicy to some people, but man, it can also be super tasty. So in some ways, I think we are getting the creative sort of unique insights to how to make life more tasty. It's a North Node Taurus, like Uranus and Taurus. Like, this is about the sensual aspect of life. So hopefully we're getting a reflection and a taste of life right now that feels good. And I think that that's where our beliefs are getting tested, with the sun opposing Jupiter, We're going to have a new moon opposing Jupiter. We have to believe that we can make our life sort of our own path right now and make it taste and feel the way that we want it to be, the way that feels unique, the way that feels powerful to ourselves, and, helps us relate in a powerful way with others. And it's definitely a time where if someone's trying to get too precise and particular and tell you how to live your life or what you need to do to have a pure life or to have that reality that you want, like, run. That's where the truth and the black and white's so clear. It's not about telling people how to live. It's not about being told what to do. This is definitely a bigger time for like really getting into your truth and the way you want to live and finding energy that resonates on that same vibe. And that's the moon quincunx Saturn as well, with also Mars in that trine to Saturn. You need to be your boss. It's not time to have people show you your future. Like, it's definitely a time to realize your independent, subjective future and truth and act on it and make changes for it and move things around for it. And what other people want, it's good to weigh it out. It's good to relate, but remember what's yours and what isn't yours. You don't have to do what other people want you to do. You need to do what feels good to you. And that is going to bring more happiness, and in turn will bring deeper, more long-lasting, more real relationships into your life, rather than fake front relationships that are built on something that is not an unconditional aspect with this Venus and Moon opposite Neptune. Like, unconditional love's a beautiful thing because there's no conditions to it. You just love whatever you're doing or whoever you're with because you love it. You love it. It's an anomaly. Love is such a beautiful thing. It's hard to even put into words. But there's no condition around it. So anything that's giving you a condition that you have to abide by or act upon to feel love in your life or to feel enjoyment or pleasure or something good, no, sorry, that's all an illusion, and you do not want to get trapped into that reality, especially Saturday. But as we come to the new moon, that's a lot of energy up here at the cusp of Libra and Virgo, of course. And Mercury and Venus are getting closer together as Mercury's retrograding back, really making that trine at the midpoint over to Pluto. And of course, we're getting the opposition between the sun and the moon for the new moon with Jupiter within a degree orb. So it's very tight, and Jupiter's a big planet. So I think those two aspects alone are very interesting as we start this Libra season, which it's also interesting just getting new moons right at the beginning of a sign because it locks us in for like the whole shebang, if you will. We're not fully into a season until we get the new moon. That like locks in the cycle. We're still like closing out the cycle before, but we're getting them so early, just 3 days in, if you will, to Libra season. Same was the case with Virgo. Like, we're getting initiated very quickly into this shift of energy. So Virgo through Aries is very subjective. It's really about your personal life. It's really about the things that you're identifying with, you're valuing, how you're thinking, your home life, your emotions, what you love, what makes you happy, what you enjoy. And then you're kind of putting it all together in Virgo to kind of like get it all in order of how to do all those things. And, really, it's like putting the cherry on top of who you are in some ways. And then we get to Libra here. And this is why it's extreme, is because we have to take all of that about ourselves and we have to go express it and communicate it and get emotional and share love. And it's all in value and it's all with other people. And there's differences there. So that's why the scales are always shifting in Libra, because we're all unique and different on the inside. So to be able to find people that we can even out with is actually such a special, beautiful thing. So when it comes to the relationship side here of Libra, this is an important new moon because the relationships have to be balanced with beliefs. They have to be balanced with a sense of self-direction that isn't so indecisive or isn't so, passive, if you will, about life. Like, I think it's good to be passive in a sense that things aren't getting to you. I think it's good to be non-attached at this moment, but it's also not a good idea to just be like, show me the way. We definitely want to be empowering ourselves with our sense of direction and how we can expand the story in our life and where that story can take us, and that it's not an old story, it's a new story, right? So we have to find how to share that with the world, how to share that with people in our lives, but without such a condition built behind it that we can't also, with Venus still in opposition to Neptune and Mercury getting ready to come back to that 25th degree and station opposite Neptune, that is going to be very difficult with a Mars starting to square both that energy. I mean, this is where people are going to like lose it because they're not getting the mental satisfaction from other people that they want, and they expect people to do what they want them to do, and that, you know, people aren't fitting the ideals of how the world's supposed to act, or the world isn't fitting the ideals of how the world's supposed to act. Yeah, no way, no shit, right? I think if we learned anything right now in this world over the last few years, is that it's very clear that people are on different levels with beliefs, different levels with evolution, different levels with values, and you don't have to be some preacher, some guru, or some guide to, you know, I mean, you could be a guide, but you don't have to hold somebody and try and be some savior. This is definitely getting into the balance point of saving yourself, expressing yourself in your most authentic form, so that you're not wearing a mask, so that you're being 100%, and then that is what's going to light up the way and show people the deeper black and white truths, because you just have to be in a high character with Pluto finishing up in Capricorn here. Your most in the most integrity, your form in the most integrity is the most powerful thing there is right now. And if you can relate that and be authentic, it's the most beautiful, balanced, in-aligned thing that will shift the collective and shift perspectives and shift reality for you. So that's why this is a very important one, is that there's such a beautiful alignment here that is giving us so much value in our physical world by the way we speak, by the way we talk, by the way we act, by the way we express love, by the way we receive love, by the way we create, that it will reflect out to others without the need to be some guru, because that's the opposition to Jupiter. Jupiter, in my opinion, is that anybody who's trying to tell you the way or show you the way, you better make sure that it resonates with your soul and that it is in your most in your highest form of integrity of your soul, that it actually is your way. This is deep soul check work to make sure that you're going your direction and that you're liberating yourself from so much of a programmed or what you're being told, which is, of course, this 135 degree angle Ceci quadrant to Saturn is bringing up too. So we all got to pay very close attention to what we're being told and who we're being told it by, because all this Neptune opposition as well to Venus and Neptune is very heavily related to propaganda. It's like Wizard of Oz stuff. There's a lot of illusion in the world right now of what to follow, how to live. Like, you got to be your boss. You got to be exactly who you are, and you will find the best, most aligned relationships and balance in your life that will be absolutely beautiful. But if you're only waiting for someone to guide you because Chiron's in Aries and you don't feel like you're strong enough to lead yourself and pioneer a direction in life and know your independent, individuated value that's liberating you from a lot of the system, Saturn and Uranus in square, then there's going to be a lot of lost people in the world. So I do think that we're coming up on a cycle here that's going to deal with a lot of realities getting shattered, that are going to lead to a lot of lost people that are going to be looking for guidance, but it's none of our jobs to be some guru for another person. We have to be that light for ourselves and live it. This is definitely a time where you have to live that light. You have to live in your highest integrity. If you do, and you are particular and precise about that part of you, and you're just not holding back and doing that, it's the biggest service you could do to the collective right now, because we can't save everybody, and people are going to start to trip in the world because we're going to have to deal with extreme relationship aspects of differences, of Mars starting to square Neptune for a long time. It's going to station at 25 degrees of Gemini on the 30th of October, or day before Halloween. Mars is going very slow right now in Gemini, which deals with our mind. Like, this is a very aggravated energy that feels very lost, and it won't really know what to do. And there's really nothing more scary than somebody who's scared and lost and doesn't know what to do. And Mercury's going to be squaring over to that energy as well and opposing Neptune. So it's not easy for people in the world right now. So we also have to have compassion, but remember not to get lost or to get stuck or to get paralyzed. This is cardinal energy with a new moon. And I know there's a lot of retrograde energies right now, but you got to truck forward for what's in alignment and beautiful in your world. It'll create something so beautiful in your life. And again, South Node Scorpio, disposited by Pluto, retrograde for the final time fully in Capricorn in our lives. This is where control and manipulation from powers that be in the world, whether you want to call it governments, whether you want to call it, it could be anything out of your control, is going to try and push the limits on the collective. And don't fall for it. It's simple as that. Because you're focused on what is in your life, your reality, your values, and you know what's not. So it's easy. I think this is this beautiful energy because it can help us see directly through the bullshit and to only commit ourselves to what is beautiful in life and to what's, gonna last. With Venus in Virgo in fall, opposite Neptune, but also trine Pluto and the midpoint in Virgo between this Mercury and Venus. Like, this is seeing through a lot of illusion and a lot of bullshit, but you have to know your soul, and you won't fall for anything. And you'll be very precise and particular and on it and smart. And that's going to help harvest something that's going to last through the winter, through the next 6 months. Because honestly, the next half of this astrological year with eclipses in Scorpio, these are very intense. And Venus is getting closer. Venus is getting closer and closer to the sun. We're going to lose sight of Venus, which is the dispositor of the North Node. So that North Node energy with Venus going around the backside of the sun here in transit is, we're not going to be able to see it from our perspective. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what goes on with money and coming up on eclipses in Scorpio. This is remember, the next the next new moon we get a month from now, 28 days, will be at 2 degrees of Scorpio, and it's going to be a solar eclipse. So with Venus gone from our view, money, relationship stuff, there's going to be big changes coming. And it's going to feel like we are the furthest away from that comfortable kind of feel good, take care of ourself energy. So we're going to need to really be strong. And that is so important right now. So yeah, it's a lot, in my opinion. But I don't think it's ever too much. We definitely got that. But big weekend, I think, to really just do what is in alignment with your soul and to really do what is in this really high character of the soul that you came here to be. And that's going to show the reflection in so much outside of self right now. Not so much in the world. The world's crazy. It's not going to get any not crazier. Like, if you think we're just going to wake up and like all the craziness in the world's going to go away, it's not. But that doesn't mean that the personal life has to be so chaotic. because it can be really aligned right now too. Six of Cups upright. I think that this is definitely a good weekend, as we are in Libra season here, to really find people that we can embrace emotionally, that we really feel good around, that we want to have memories with. Build time. It's like you're around people and you're just like, that memories are going to last and not just be forgotten about. Spend time with people and spend time with yourself and doing things that are going to be long-lasting memories that you'll look back on and be like, wow, yeah, I remember that weekend with a new moon in Libra before some of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life went down. That like, wow, that was epic, King of Cups. Wow. A lot of emotional energy this weekend. That emotional maturity and like really being able to embrace how you're feeling and express how you're feeling and, share that deep truth is so important. And to, I think we have to be vulnerable with our personal lives too. And it's not about being fake. So it's like being so confident in yourself because you love yourself so much that you can be exactly who you are. It's going to reflect back. And it's going to, create long-lasting memories. So that's good. Five of Wands in reverse. Badass tarot. Dick seeds. Grow your own. This deck is so funny. It doesn't have to be a conflicted weekend. It doesn't have to be full of fighting. It doesn't have to be a competition. This isn't about some I'm holier than you time. This is definitely just a time to realize you got what you need. You're growing the life that you want and you're stepping into that fully, and you're doing it because you feel confident about the person that you've become and that you are becoming every day, and that you're fully going to step into this future with these moments you've created without the worry or the stress or the fights that have to be there. Like, deal with things, of course, but don't put yourself in situations just to prove that you're better than someone else. This isn't about being better. This is about being humble and just in a really strong place within yourself and acting it, walking it like you talk it, So I wish you all the best. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Happy new moon in Libra, and I'll see you all on Monday. Much love. Peace.